Could Benjamin Sisko really be about to return to Star Trek? Could this be a real Hail Mary for Kurtzman? Welcome to the Attack and Pulse podcast, your place for sci-fi news, rumour and debate.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
So the end of Deep Space Nine was a little bit unusual for a Star Trek show. Voyager, they got home. TNG, they just sort of carried on. Went straight into Generations, really, didn't it? But Deep Space Nine did have a finale for the character that was Sisko. He defeated Dukat and trapped the Par-Wraith in the fire caves forever, and then went to the Celestial Temple with the prophets to carry on all of his good work. The prophets actually told him, now the work begins, suggesting that he was going to be doing something interesting. But before he sort of disappeared forever, he did appear to his girlfriend in a vision. And he said, I will be back. Well, he didn't. He said, I will return one day. And that once he was free of the shackles of linear time, that, he could return. So, why do I say he could be returning to Star Trek? Well, a couple of reasons. One, we already know that Kurtzman is talking to William Shatner and Kate Mulgrew about their characters of, obviously, James T. Kirk, I don't know why I said it like that, and Captain Janeway, to return in some way to Star Trek. Kate Mulgrew has already, obviously, returned to Star Trek in Prodigy, animated, but could there be some sort of live-action project? The reason why, though, I mention that is that Secret Hideout have already shown they are interested in bringing these classic characters back. They've already brought Picard back. So, could Sisko be the next in line? Well, Starfleet Academy has given us quite a big hint. In the trailer, we see a cadet against the wall of heroes, and Sisko is smack bang in the middle. It says, what was the fate of Benjamin Sisko? There is an interesting point here, though. You can't see Benjamin Sisko's face. It's not Avery Brooks in that shot. I'm going to come back to that because I think they might be planning to do something, maybe, that is really going to annoy fans. But we'll come back to that in a minute. Was this moment, though, in Academy just an Easter egg? Was it something that was just for fun? Or is it actually a sign of something quite big they're planning to do with Academy? So, first of all, Academy is set in the 32nd century. But Sisko could return because, as I said a second ago, he has been uncuffed from the chains of linear time. So, he could come back at any point. And he could come back as a younger man, an older man. So, like he is now. I mean, Avery Brooks is 77. He could come back as the same age he was when he left Deep Space Nine, if they do some sort of CGI trickery, which, again, they can do. So, it wouldn't matter that it's the 32nd century. He's actually the one character, really, other than the Doctor, that could return to Starfleet Academy without doing any sort of, crazy trickery that would mess with canon that we've already seen. Kate Mulgrew can't really return as Janeway unless they think of something very clever to drag her, hundreds of years into the future. So, there is that possibility. Would Avery Brooks even be willing? Well, the chap that played Jake, his son, has suggested that he would. And actually, they are both still really good friends. They're really close. Apparently, they go to baseball games and all sorts together. So, if we got Sisko back, maybe we'd get Jake back as well. And that was one of the really interesting things about Deep Space Nine, was the relationship between Sisko and Jake. So maybe it's something we can have revisited. So, we've got an actor that might be interested. We've got a very interesting and plausible plot device to get him into the series. And I think we've got an audience that would be interested to see what happened to one of the most interesting captains we've ever had in the franchise. He might actually be my favourite. And in the pale moonlight, is probably one of my favourite episodes, definitely top 5 episodes, or definitely my favourite episode that's sort of centred around sort of one character. The end bit in that episode is seriously powerful. But what do I say is a possibility that I think they're hinting at by not showing his face in that moment in the trailer that I think would really annoy fans if they did. They could recast Sisko. As I said, he's been unchained from linear time, so in theory he could come back as a younger man. We could see Sisko looking like he's 25 or something, and just get an actor that looks a bit like him, shave his head, grow him a goatee, and crack on your Sisko. If they do that, I think it'll really piss fans off. I think it would annoy me. But let's be honest, Kurtzman would do it. I actually don't put anything past Secret Hideout and Alex Kurtzman at this point. I think that they would maybe try to do something like this, and if Avery Brooks doesn't want to do it, or they just think he's too old, they'll just recast him. And I just don't think that'd be the right way to do it. But what sort of storyline do I think they should do? Well, there was a comic book series that actually had Sisko's return. It was only set a few years after Deep Space Nine, so it would have to be tweaked for this. But he came back, sent by the Prophets, because there was some new enemy, some new threat. And it was basically like a god killer. It was killing the Q and everything else. So Sisko was sent back by the Prophets to basically deal with this threat in only the way he could. Maybe they could follow something like that. But I've actually got what I think is a better idea. But I'm going to talk about that in the next video, because it could be a very exciting project if this is what Secret Hideout are thinking to do. It could also be a project that I think could save Kurtzman and his deal with Paramount to produce Star Trek if he did it right. And could really be a coming together of everything historical about Star Trek. It would really be the ultimate Star Trek movie if they were able to pull it off. Get into the comments and tell me what you think I'm thinking. I will give a shout out to whoever actually comes up with the best idea, or comes up with the idea closest to what I'm thinking about. So yeah, get into the comments and tell me now. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see a lot of these videos before everybody else, or join us on Patreon, where I do lots of videos that are just for there. So you'll never see them on YouTube. There's links in the description. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.